get over here and watch this video, please. Welcome back to the Mortal Kombat extravaganza. This time around, I'm going to be ranking all of the Mortal Kombat characters from the modern games. Not just the playable ones, but you know, the ones that are involved in the story too, kind of. I think you'll understand, but there's like 250 something characters that I've added to this, so let's get started. All right, we have to begin with Mortal Kombat 9, or just Mortal Kombat, you know, whatever. And we're gonna start with the poster boy, Liu Kang. I mean, like, yeah, he's important in Mortal Kombat 9, but he's, I don't know, he's like fine, I guess. I think Liu Kang for Mortal Kombat 9 is like a B tier. He gets killed by Raiden, and that's probably the most interesting thing that happens about him in the game. Okay, Sindel for Mortal Kombat 9 is another story, because Sindel kills like almost like everyone. I'm going to say A for Sindel. Kung Lao, I think Kung Lao is fine. He's basically the same in every game, where he's just a little bit like egotistical, you know, he's got a bit of an ego problem. Every single time I go, yep, you are fine. You're kind of here just to play off of Liu Kang, because Liu Kang is such a goody-goody that we need to have someone to bounce off of that. But I also think you're B tier. Jade is interesting because Jade is pretty cool. She is kind of just here to thwart Kitana once or twice. She isn't really much of a character in and of herself. I'm gonna say she's C tier. Scorpion Mortal Kombat 9. This is Hanzo Hasashi. This is when he is still a very vengeance boy. Do I care that much though? Because he's not that important in the story. Feels weird putting Scorpion in C tier, but I'm kind of gonna put Scorpion in C tier. I also don't plan on ranking these individually amongst the tiers until the end of the video, and we have to do Kitana as well. Kitana is more interesting in this game. I think she's a B tier. Melina is a fan favorite. I can't imagine why. I think she's at least interesting in this game. Because this is a reboot, this is where she gets introduced. I feel fine keeping you in B tier. Sub-Zero, this should be Kuai Liang, I guess. We have Kuai Liang and we have Bihan. Kuai Liang is interesting because he takes over the Sub-Zero mantle after original Sub-Zero Bihan dies, and then he becomes Noob Saibot. A tier and Noob in A tier, I think. Reptile for Mortal Kombat 9, just a lackey in most of these games, which is unfortunate because I love Reptile. I love a lizard boy. However, you are going to have to go in D tier because, you know, there's not much here. Johnny Cage I think is really funny in this game because he's like, I'm gonna hit on this hot military chick named Sonya Blade, and the way that I'm gonna hit on her is physically. I'm gonna beat her in a fight because she like told me to fuck off. He's not quite a good character yet. Good, you know, like morally good. You get to be a B tier. Ermac I think is really cool. He, unfortunately for Jax, takes Jax's arms. I'm gonna say Ermac is an A tier. These are not all fully based on story mode, by the way. This is also just, do I like their design? Do I think that they're cool? And then Sonya Blade, yes, this is a real military outfit apparently. She's in the same category. Well, no, I'll put her in A tier. She's pretty good in this game. Smoke is something. I honestly forget if he gets cyberdized in this, but you're like a C tier. You're just kind of here and you're fine. Nightwolf, I think Nightwolf maybe the only S tier for Mortal Kombat 9 for me. I think Nightwolf is a really cool, really badass character. He does the cool thing where he sacrifices himself in order to also take out Sindel after she takes out like everyone. Nightwolf has got it going on. He's always been like one of the like more powerful characters in my opinion, and I think he's really cool. Shiva from Mortal Kombat 9 barely has any clothes on, which affects my ranking, maybe? I really like Shiva. She's gonna stay in A tier, that's fine. All right, Sector, Ketchup. I like Sector, kind of. I don't like him as a person. He wants to cyberdize the Lin Kuei, and he's successful. I think Sector is a piece of shit. You know what? I hate what you did to Cyrax. I'm putting you in D tier. All right, first of the DLC characters for Mortal Kombat 9, we have Scarlet. Scarlet is not in the story at all. She might be in the background, but she doesn't say or do anything, I don't think. I mean, Scarlet is cool, but ultimately in this game, she does nothing. I'm gonna put her in D tier. All right, Jax. Jax, you know, I think he's on par with Johnny, maybe? I'll keep you in B tier. Quan Chi, I mean, Quan Chi has always been cool. I like that he has the real deep voice. I'm gonna say Quan Chi is a B tier villain. Stryker, everyone's favorite character from Mortal Kombat. He's a cop. I'll put you in D tier. Cyrax Best Boy gets to go in S tier. I really like his story. It's very tragic. He gets cyberdized against his will, and it's really sad, but it's an S tier for me, pal. Kenshi, another DLC character. Like, you're cool. I think you have some really good fatalities in this game. This kind of cements him as being a kind of character that I think the team really enjoys because they continue to bring him back. You're good, but like, you're C tier. Shang Tsung is fun. He's kind of the secondary villain of this game. I mean, you're conniving, you're evil. I'll say you're A tier. Baraka, everyone's favorite Tarkatan, but does he do much in this game? I don't think so. Not that I can remember anyway. I'm gonna say you're also D tier as much as it hurts me. Cyber Sub-Zero, I think you're pretty cool. I'm just gonna go ahead and say you're on par with Sub-Zero. Cabal is fun. He's fine. I think he's more interesting than Stryker. It's also interesting because this is one of the few games where he's actually a good guy. I like good guy Cabal. Sadly, he gets burnt up by Kintaro. I think he's C tier. Kano is also a character that's just kind of in this game. He doesn't have too much going on, I don't think. Obviously, he has a beef with Sonya, and they fight a couple of times. I think you're a C tier. Rain, you're kind of a god. You're like a demigod or something. I don't have much to say about you. You're gonna be D tier. Raiden, this is funny to me because Raiden, at the start of the game, you see that Armageddon has happened, and everyone has died, and Shao Kahn has won. Past Raiden sends memories to this version of Raiden so he can prevent that from happening. Almost at every single turn, this Raiden gets or interprets those messages incorrectly, and I think that's really funny. You're kind of the crux of this story, so I'm gonna put you in A tier by default. Alright, Freddy Krueger, the first ever horror character guest character DLC. I personally don't think he's that interesting in this game. I'm going to say he's D tier. I like that it opened the floodgates for other horror characters to get added eventually, but Freddy Krueger, he's just kind of okay in this game. Okay, Kratos, I put an asterisk next to this because he is playable. However, he was only PlayStation exclusive character. I have never played as Kratos myself. I don't really care about Kratos personally, so I'm gonna put you in D tier. I'm sorry, but I just don't care. All right, let's get another asterisk in here. When I put an asterisk next to their name, it means that they're not playable. So here we have Shao Kahn. I'm pretty sure he's not playable anyway. This is the big boss of the game. I think he's a very intimidating boss. I think he's a cool boss. I like his story in this game. He's gonna be A tier. I will say his boss fights are annoying as shit. I hate fighting him in this game. And I replayed all the story modes for this, and I once again did not have fun with his fight. All right, here we have Motaro, the Centaur Man. Again, he's kind of not really in this game. Actually, you know what? You are epitome of you are in this game. Now we have to have Goro. I guess like mini boss, maybe, if you want to call it that. I like the big forearm freaks. I think they're fun as hell. I'll say you're B tier. And then of course we also have Kintaro, the kitty cat version of Goro. And I like Kintaro a lot. Kintaro is also going to be B tier. Okay, and then the last one for Mortal Kombat 9, I believe, is Shinnok. This is like, I think an after game, post game cutscene where Quan Chi talks to Shinnok and it's revealed that Shinnok is like pulling strings, and Shinnok in this game is epitome of you are in this game. All right, now we have to get to Mortal Kombat X. Let's start with Sonya Blade, because why not? Sonya in this game is kind of necessary because we have the combat kids. She, however, frankly doesn't have that important of a role for me personally, I don't think. Johnny feels kind of more important in a way, I guess. I don't know, I'm feeling like Sonya's kind of I want to say C tier weirdly. Tanya is a DLC character. She is technically in the story mode. She doesn't do much. She is there to help aid Melina. The D tier. Melina is in this game once again, and she's, like I said, trying to take back the throne from Kotal Khan, and also she dies in this game. She gets killed by Devora. I think Melina in this game is also fine. I'll say she's B tier. Kung Lao is a revenant in this game because he died in Mortal Kombat 9, and then Quan Chi resurrected him and made him a minion, basically. I don't frankly give a shit about you. You're D tier. First of the combat kids, we have Jackie. I want to say she's like B tier, I guess. Cassie Cage. I think that she's fun. I think she weirdly doesn't have great voice acting in this game. I'm going to say also B tier because a lot of this game relies on the combat kids and they work. All right, this is Katana. Again, she is a revenant in this game. She's more important than Kung Lao, I'll say. But yeah, you're still going to be a D tier. Devora. This is the character killer. I actually really like Devora. I think it pissed a lot of people off that Devora killed Melina because Melina is like one of the most fan favorite characters of all time, but I think it's really bold to introduce a new character that takes out a fan favorite. I also just think Devora's fun. She's a chitin. I'm weirdly going to say Devora's A tier. Johnny Cage. Yeah, I think this is where Johnny Cage gets to go in A tier. You are fun because you are a caring parent in this game. I like that about you. Also, you defeat Shinnok. So like, good job. You literally defeated an elder god. Okay, I think this is Liu Kang, and this is another guy that's a revenant. The revenants, frankly, don't really do much for me in this game, so you're like a D tier. Ermac is back, and I don't remember you doing anything of importance in this game. I do think this is one of your cooler designs, but I'm gonna say C tier. Here we have Takeda. Takeda's pretty cool. I think Takeda is possibly my favorite of the combat kids. You know what? I'll put you in A tier. Why not? All right, let me just do this. So we have Triborg. So each character has variants, like play style variants. In Triborg, you can pick the Cyrax, the Sector, or the Smoke version. Or if you do like a weird menu input, you can do Sub-Zero. So the Triborg is a DLC character. I think all of you are going to be T tier. All right, Kung Jin, last of the combat kids. Kung Jin is really cool because Kung Jin is, I think, the first canonically gay Mortal Kombat character. Not that he ever at any point directly confirms that he is into men, but there's a bit in the story that really strongly hints toward that, and I think that's cool. Kung Jin is also going to be a B tier though. Kenshi gets some story significance this time around. He is father of Takeda, but you're like a C tier. Jax, who could forget Jax? So Jax has been de-revenanted. He is no longer a revenant. He has PTSD, and then he shows up in one chapter to help do shit. I'm gonna say you're C tier. Sub-Zero is also somehow has been saved from being a revenant, and he has the actual Lin Kuei going, so good for him. He's helped save the Lin Kuei. I'll say you're B tier, I guess. Kano, once again, you are kind of just here. I think this is where you start to gain your like hotness a little bit more, but you are going to be a C tier. Bo Raicho, this is a DLC character. He is actually in the story technically. The thing about Bo Raicho is I like when they portray him as a character that actually has intelligence. When he's portrayed portrayed as just the typical fat guy that is a drunk and is disgusting and farts and shit. I'm like, can we not have the one fat character be like that, please? At least in the story mode, he is not like portrayed like that, I don't think. You're C tier though, because you don't really have much significance. Oh yeah, Aaron Black gets introduced in this game. Another pretty big fan favorite. I mean, you're cool, you're a gunslinger, rootin' tootin' cowboy motherfucker, but ultimately I'm just gonna say you're C tier. Now we have Shinnok. This is the main boss of the game. We defeat him twice, first as Johnny Cage and second as Cassie Cage. I mean, I think you're a fun villain, but you're not my favorite villain. I'm gonna keep you in B tier. Scorpion Hanzo Hazashi. You are interesting because you really fuck things up. Basically, they need Quan Chi alive in order to save all of the revenants from being revenants. But Scorpion is like, no, but this man set up the death of my wife and my daughter and my entire clan, so I'm gonna kill him. Frankly, it's not my problem that the other revenants are revenants. They can go fuck themselves. Literally just let them, I don't know, use Quan Chi first, and then they can be like, all right, Scorpion, fair is fair, kill this man. But no, he can't be bothered to wait one single second, so he fucks things up. I'm gonna put him in C tier, because frankly, fuck you, Scorpion, specifically in this game. Alright, Raiden. Yeah, Raiden is kind of not that important in this game. We have his Sky Temple, which is fun, but he's just kind of like, meh. He's not really the one that's facing off against the big bad guy. I'm gonna say you're kind of like C tier in this game. Quan Chi. This is where Quan Chi gets his most iconic voice for me, the real deep one. He's kind of helping Shinnok. He created all the revenants. I think you're B tier. Okay, let's get Kotal Khan in here. I really like Kotal Khan. I think he's a cool character, a cool addition. I really like his like Mesoamerican influences. I think that he's a cool big character. He's kind of a dick in this game. Like he's not the best, but I do like him still. He's gonna be a B tier. All right, let's get the Xenomorph, or alien as they call it in this game. I think it's cool that an alien got added. I'm gonna say you are A tier. Jason Voorhees also gets added, and I'm going to say Jason is also B tier, I think, alongside Alien. Now we also get the Predator, or the Yautja, and I think this guy is also a B tier. Shocker. Last of the horror DLC characters, we have Leatherface, and Leatherface I am going to put in C tier, so you don't get to be up with the others. I still think you're fine, but you're just kind of like meh to me. All right, here we have Goro. Goro, I believe, was like a pre-order playable character bonus. Goro is fun. He's not in the story at all, but you can play as him, I guess. I think this is the only time Goro is playable in the modern games. I'm going to say you are C tier though. All right, Ferrator. This is such a cool character. It's technically two characters. They have like a symbiotic relationship. I think this is really cool idea. Their playstyle is really unique. They're fun in the story mode, even though I think Farah is the girl, even though Farah's voice is annoying, but I'm gonna say you're A tier because you're cool. All right, Tremor, another DLC character. I like seeing Tremor be playable in a game. I just wish you had story significance. I'm willing to put you in C tier though, because we don't see Tremor often and it's cool. All right, Reptile. Reptile's once again just a lackey in this game. He don't do much at all. I think you are also going to be a D tier as much as I like you, and I really like this design for you. All right, let's add Frost, the first of the non-playable characters in this game. Frost is just kind of here. I don't know, she's barely in this game. I think Frost is a you are in this game character. Revenant Cabal, you are in this game. Revenant Striker, I'm gonna put you in F tier because frankly, you are not even in this game. You are technically, but like you have to really pay close attention to see you, and also it's Striker, so I don't know, they just kind of forgot about him, I guess. All right, this is Serena, I think, right? She is kind of cool. I like that she's fighting the good fight. She's in the story mode once or twice. She goes to the Nether Realm to help fight, I believe. D tier, maybe. Lee Mei is similar. She shows up at the refugee camp and she informs them that Kano is there, basically. I think she's more you are in this game than Serena. Yeah, why not? Fujin. I like seeing Fujin. Fujin is going to be a D tier. You're kind of more of a character in the story mode, so sure. Now, this is Revenant Smoke, I believe, aka Anenra. You might fight against him at some point, but also you are just in this game. Rain, I'll keep Rain in D tier because you are helping Melina out, and I think you fight Rain. I think you fight him as Kotal Khan at least, so you get to be a D tier. Revenant Sindel, I don't remember fighting her. Maybe you do. I'm gonna say she's just in this game. Baraka is technically in this game. I believe he gets killed by Devora. I guess he was following Melina and then Devora kills him because Devora's helping Kotal Khan at this point. You are in this game. And then I believe this is the last one, Revenant Nightwolf. And again, I think you're kind of just in this game. I don't remember fighting you or really seeing you at all, but you are here and you exist. Okay, on to Mortal Kombat 11, my most played game, my favorite Mortal Kombat game to play. We are, of course, starting with Noob Saibot here. I really like Noob Saibot in this game. Not only is he fun to play, I also just think he has fun story mode interactions. This is extremely biased, but I'm going to put him in S tier. I'm sorry. Here we have Scorpion Hanzo Hasashi. I think you get to be an A tier this time, Scorpion. Just because I've put you in here, let's go ahead and put Sub-Zero, Kuai Liang. These two, I fucking love them in this game because they're like best friends. They're like little buddies. And that's really freaking cute after the beef that they had. It really was enemies to lovers. I want them to be lovers. However, Sub-Zero is going to be an S tier. I really like him in this game. Also, he is the epitome of daddy. Sonya Blade, played by Ronda Rousey. So her voice acting isn't the best. It's not awful. There are worse guest voice actors in the Mortal Kombat franchise, and Ronda Rousey is not the worst, surprisingly. So the thing about this game, right, is that the past and the future collide. We see characters from the tournament, from like Mortal Kombat 9 era, meet with modern day versions of the characters, and instead of listing them separately, which I frankly should have done, the reason why I decided I wasn't going to do them separately is because they are technically the same person. They are technically the same character because it's just one grows up to become the other, okay? That's why. I remembered. Sonya Blade, however, current modern version dies real early on in the story mode, and then it's really just the young Sonya. She sacrifices herself, I guess. I think you're interesting, and you know what? You know what, Sonya? You get to kill Kano. You're your sworn enemy in this game. You get an A tier. You deserve an A tier for that. Okay, Raiden, we get to see Dark Raiden show up for like 2 cumulative minutes in this game, maybe. I really wish they did more with that, but you can't win it all. I'm going to say Raiden is, I think you're an A tier in this game. Jackie Briggs. Oh man, I have so much to say about the way that Mortal Kombat just doesn't really know how to like make their black characters feel significant at all. Jackie Briggs has pretty much always felt like a sidekick to Cassie, and I think that's because the game's creators are kind of like, well, Cassie's the main one, right? So Jackie's just gonna be like the best friend, and I'm like, okay. So Jackie, I mean, I like that she has to grapple with her father in this game, but I'm going to say you are just B tier. Johnny Cage, I really love both sides of the Johnny Cage coin in this game. Modern Johnny is like gotten past his like stupid shit, and he's just a really devoted father, and I love him as that character. And then he gets to interact with his old version where he's just a douchebag Hollywood guy, and I fucking love that version of Johnny. I think you're A tier, contemplated S tier, but I don't want to put too many S tier characters from 11. Baraka doesn't really have much going on in this game. This is the most story significance he's had yet though. All of Tarkatans were wiped out by Kotal Khan because they aided Melina. So Kotal Khan is not a good guy. He literally committed a geno and then he sided. You know what I'm saying? You get to be a B tier at least. Good job, Baraka. Cassie, you have to watch your your mother die, so that's not great per se. Or, well, you don't watch her die, but you have to let her die, I guess. Other than that, though, you don't feel important. This is gonna be weird. I'm putting you in C tier. All right, Jax. Once again, this is where I'm like, Mortal Kombat still really doesn't quite know how to treat the black characters. Also, that goes for Jade. So Jade from Mortal Kombat 9 is just Kitana's sidekick. So you see a theme develop. Jax in this game has PTSD. He has retired. He sides with Kronika because he wants to stop Jackie from going into the special forces. Brother, that's your daughter. She chose that for herself. You gotta let her make her own decisions, okay, pal? Jax is going to be a B tier, because at least you're interesting, but like, eh. All right, Frost is here. She has taken up the Cyber Lin Kuei, I guess. She is... I'm gonna say C tier. Shao Kahn comes back. You're more interesting in the DLC, in the Aftermath DLC story mode. I also like that you get to play as Shao Kahn. I feel like A tier, because you have the beef with Kotal, and that's good. Kitana, now of course, this is counting for Revenant and past Kitana. Oh wait, yeah, no, she becomes Kitana Khan. She's A tier for sure. No, I love that about her, and she's a good ruler. Absolutely A tier. All right, Terminator. T800, fucking whatever. Despite the fact that you are a DLC character, I am going to say that you are in this game. Liu Kang, of course, this is also both Revenant and past Liu Kang. He is absolutely an A tier because he becomes Fire God Liu Kang. He is the most important character in this game, arguably. Kung Lao, he exists. I'll say you're B tier, I guess. Now you can't play as Kronika, but she is the main boss of this game. So I'm going to say Kronika is, I guess, B tier. I think you're fine, villain. Why not? Jade, here we go, Jade. What have we got going on this time around? What's that? Still not much? You just get to be Kotal Khan's love interest? Okay. Cool. Sick. Yeah. However, this is the best you get in any of these games. I'll bump you up to B tier. Scarlet is really fucking cool. I love the voice actor that plays her. I'm gonna say Scarlet is A tier. Normally lackeys don't get this high up, but she's a really good one. Melina is here. She is a DLC character. She doesn't do anything in the story mode, so she is a D tier. Kano, this is young and modern Kano. I really like the line where he's interacting with his older self and he goes, over 50 and still a ripper. You know what? I'll say you're A tier. This is the most fun I have with you. The Joker. It's the Joker, baby. Everyone loves the Joker. You know, we've had Mortal Kombat versus DC, so I get why they did this, but I'm going to be honest with you. I think the addition of Joker kind of ruined my enjoyment of the guest characters for the future of Mortal Kombat, for the most part. So I'm going to put you in F tier. Nightwolf, I really like his involvement in the Aftermath DLC. I'm going to say he's A tier. Shang Tsung, it would be stupid of me not to put you in A tier. You are arguably the main villain of the Aftermath DLC, and you have great importance for Mortal Kombat 1, so you get to be A tier. I also just really like Cary Hiroyuki Tagawa, who played him in the movie. Rest in peace, he died 2025. He does a great job. All right, Shiva, also an Aftermath DLC story mode, important character, and I really like her again. It's Shiva. I love Shiva. A tier. Aaron Black is kind of just here. I'm going to say you're D tier. Rambo, I actually weirdly think Rambo is a fun character. I feel like Rambo oddly fits in Mortal Kombat. I'm going to say you're C tier. Cabal, this is interesting because this past version of Cabal is still part of the Red Dragon. So he's with Kano in this game. He's not as important as Kano. He's kind of just, I'll say B tier at least, I guess. No. C tier. All right, Devora. Everyone loves Devora, isn't that right? What does Devora do in this game? She kills Scorpion. She really kills these main characters, man, I'm telling you. She kills modern Scorpion. Yeah, I just think it's really funny that she gets to do that. I'm going to say Devora's B tier. All right, Sector, you're not playable. You fucking should have been, but you're not playable. But you have pretty big story significance. I'll say you're B tier because I think you're cool. cool. I really like your design in this game. Gearus, one of the new characters implemented in 11. I really like Gearus. However, he is just going to be a B tier in this game because he's Kronika's little servant boy. Again, black character, just being a sidekick / servant. All right, RoboCop. This is a character that weirdly fits in because of the cyber initiative stuff. As much as I don't give a shit about RoboCop as a character, really, somehow he ended up being one of my more favorite characters to play. So I'm gonna say C tier. Collector. This is one of the characters that they added, and as soon as they added him, I said, wow, this character is never going to come back in a future game. So he is a Knock-Nodden, which they have 6 arms. I wish they utilized the 6 arms a little bit more. It's kind of just like the Shokan, but then the other 2 are just to hold a backpack. I'm one of the few people I think in existence that likes Collector. I think it's a cool design. I think he's fun. I'm gonna put him in B tier also. All right, we have Rain. Rain is just DLC, no story significance. I really like your look in this game. I think you're fun to play, but you are just going to be a C tier. Sindel. This is interesting because they do a little bit of a retcon, I believe, for the story where they say that Sindel actually never was good and that she was always evil. I don't know, I like her. I think she's... Did I put Shao Kahn in A? Yeah, okay, she'll be in A too. Fujin. I really like Fujin. Again, very important character in the Aftermath DLC. I love Fujin, very fun to play. I'm gonna put him in S tier, and here's why. So Liu Kang basically sends them on a quest to get Kronika's crown back in the Aftermath story. Liu Kang tells Fujin, and Fujin alone, that they have to lose. You can infer that he told Fujin that this is basically a death sentence. Shang Tsung has to win in order for this to have to be successful. So Fujin knows this, and he agrees to go along with it. He is the greatest sacrifice, I think, of anyone in this game. And also, Liu Kang doesn't even fucking bring him back in the new era in Mortal Kombat 1. So what the fuck, Liu Kang? Alright, Kotal Kahn. I think this is the most I like Kotal Kahn in a game. I'm gonna say A tier for Kotal Kahn. I've always liked Kotal Kahn, but I think he's a little extra good in 11. Cetrion. This is the first time an Elder God has been playable. She is the daughter of Cetrion, brother of Shinnok. Oh wait, no, Shinnok. You can play Shinnok. Second time you can play as an Elder God. She's like if Stockholm Syndrome applied to like parents. I think she's interesting, but she's kind of just C tier for me. All right, let's go ahead and get Cyrax in here. Of course, I love Cyrax. Cyrax, again, not a playable character, but you're going in A tier because it's still tragic what happens to you, and I hate it. Spawn. Spawn kind of works. You're D tier though. All right, Shinnok is technically in this game. He's just a head. He doesn't have any lines. Well, no, he does, I think, before Dark Raiden cuts his head off. He is the epitome of you are in this game. There's not much going on there. We also have Charon, I forget how you pronounce it. He's the fairy of the dead. He helps everyone get to Kronika's keep. I'm gonna say he's like a C tier. And then Great Kung Lao. I forgot that the Great Kung Lao is in this. The little post-credits cutscene, I guess. Liu Kang's new era. He interacts with Great Kung Lao. I'm gonna say you are just in this game. Okay, this list is getting thick, but we still have an entire other game to go, and that is Mortal Kombat 1. Johnny Cage, Mortal Kombat 1. I think Johnny Cage is really cool in this game. I'm gonna say you're A tier. You have a bromance with, let me bring him out. Johnny Cage and Kenshi have a bromance, and I headcanon them as gay, and I think that's really cool, so they're both gonna go in A tier. I also just like their individual stories. Okay, we have Rain. Rain is the like Outworld mage or something. He's just kind of here. I don't even really love his design. I think it's fine. I think you're D tier. All right, Omni-Man, and this is kind of what I was talking about with Joker ruining guest characters, is like, if we're just adding random fucking superheroes to this game, no, I'll put you in D tier. Reptile. I love Reptile in this game. Reptile is going in S tier for sure. Reptile is one of my favorite characters in this game. One of the most like heartbreaking backstories in the games. He becomes Shang Tsung's slave because he's trying to save his family. His family's dead, and then he helps fight for good. I love him. All right, here we have Melina. I think Melina's really fun in this game. I like that she's a good guy. She is in line to become Empress of Outworld. She is afflicted with Tarkot, which is a disease this go around. Yeah, I'm gonna say she's A tier. Here we have Smoke or Tomas. I really like Smoke in this game. Unfortunately, I don't even think you play as him in story mode. I like him in the story mode of this game, but I don't think you play as him. And that's really unfortunate for me. I'm gonna say you're B tier. All right, here we have Sub-Zero. This is Bihan Sub-Zero. And Bihan Sub-Zero is a bit of a dick, bit of an asshole. He ends up turning against Earthrealm. He is Grandmaster. He let the previous one die, which was his father. I find his character more interesting in the Chaos Reigns DLC, but for most of that, he is also just Noob Saibot. So I'm gonna put this Sub-Zero in B tier. Here we have Homelander from The Boys. I'm just gonna put him in F tier right now. All right, Baraka. I'm adding Baraka to S tier as well. Baraka is the other character where I'm like, you have a tragic story. I really like you in this game. I think why I like Reptile and Baraka so much in this game is because typically they are just nothing lackeys, and they decided to make them actual like characters that have depth that are good, and I love that. All right, here we have Quan Chi. We get to form the Deadly Alliance again in this game with Shang Tsung. I like his design. He's kind of fun in this one. I think you're A tier, and I genuinely think Mortal Kombat 1 is going to have a lot of higher up characters. However, Kung Lao is not going to be one of them. Kung Lao is going to be B tier. Again, Kung Lao is good in this game. He's just not the best. All right, here we have Scorpion, and this is Kuai Liang's Scorpion? Yeah, so instead of Kuai Liang being a Sub-Zero, Kuai Liang is Scorpion in this game. He is still brothers with Bihan, so Scorpion and Sub-Zero are blood-related brothers. I like Scorpion a lot in this game. He ends up forming the Shirai Ryu. Yeah, I like him, especially in the Chaos Reigns DLC. A tier. All right, here we have Ashra. This is a 3D era character that got brought back, and I love it. She's going to be A tier. Ashra is just a really fun one. I'm happy to see her. All right, now we have Peacemaker. The thing is, I like Peacemaker. I was like, I don't like them adding all the fucking superheroes and comic book characters. I only like this though because I like the character, so I'm going to say C tier. All right, here we have Katana. Katana is Melina's sister. They are blood sisters. They are not clones. Katana is just kind of here in this game. You fight her a couple of times, but that's about it. I think Katana, I think you're C tier in this game. All right, Geras. I'm so glad that Geras was brought back. Geras is really good in this game. I'm gonna say Geras is A tier. I wish that we got a chapter where we play as him. I'm kind of sad that they didn't do that in Chaos Reigns. You're a sweet boy. You're A tier. All right, here we have Shang Tsung, and Shang Tsung is, well, going to be an A tier as well because it's the whole Deadly Alliance thing with Quan Chi. I don't know who they got to play him this time around, but they did a really good job as well. So good job, Shang Tsung voice actors. All right, here we have Reiko. This is General Shao's, not Shao Kahn, because he is a general underneath Sindel. Reiko is General Shao's right-hand man. He doesn't frankly do much. He's just kind of a lackey in this game, but he is still kind of more interesting than most of the lackeys in most of the games. I'm still going to say D tier though. All right, here we have Raiden. So because Liu Kang is now like the protector of Earthrealm, instead of Raiden with Liu Kang being his little best boy, it's Liu Kang with Raiden being his little best boy. Raiden is the Earthrealm champion in this game, but I'm kind of feeling B tier weirdly. All right, so I deeply apologize for how small this is on your screen right now, but this is kind of the best I can do. At the end of the video, once the rankings are all complete, I will have the image and I will like have it scroll, so don't worry please. All right, Sindel, like I said, she is the Empress of Outworld, and I really like Sindel in this game because she's a good guy. What? Sindel? Yeah, Sindel's gonna be an A tier. All right, here we have Nitara. She's a vampire. She's voiced by Megan Fox, and Megan Fox does a really fucking bad job in this game. Also, you are just a lackey. You are D tier. All right, here we have Li Mei, and Li Mei is incredible in this game. She has a really unique story. I really like it. she is an A tier. Well, color my nips stimulated. I'm going to put her in S tier. All right, here we have Takeda. He is a DLC character. No story significance. Like, I'm glad they brought back Takeda. Yeah, you're D tier. All right, here we have Tanya. Tanya is another very good character in this game. She is head of the Umgadi, which are the protectors of like the royal court and outworld, I guess. And here's a fun fact for you. Melina and Tanya have a gay romance going on. What? I mean, it makes sense. Look at them. But what the fuck? Never in my days would I've expected a lesbian romance in a Mortal Kombat game. This makes me extremely happy. They both have to be in A tier. They're going to be next to each other. All right, here we have Havoc. Havoc is important, but not this Havoc. This is just a lackey Havoc, and this lackey Havoc is going in D tier. All right, General Shao. I don't love your look in this game, your face specifically. The horns are fun. The body's fine. General Shao, I think is interesting, but you're more of a B tier for me. Here we have Ermac and or Jared. I'm considering this one in the same because technically Ermac is many souls and Jared is one of them. This makes me happy to see that Ermac also gets to be a good character. King Jared, which if you don't know was Sindel's husband that died, takes over and takes control of the body. I'm going to say Ermac is, I think, just B tier. All right, Liu Kang. Liu Kang is, like I said, kind of the main thing of the thing that's going on. You're A tier. All right, here we have Noob Saibot. I don't love Noob Saibot in this game. I think it's more interesting than him just being generic bad guy. I'm gonna put you in B tier, I think. Ah, the first of the cameos. Here we have Jax. I think most of these cameos are going to be you are in this game, and Jax is one of them. Sonya's going in there. Sub-Zero's going in there. This is normal Cyrax. This Cyrax is going in S tier. I know I have 4 S tier characters from Mortal Kombat 1, but sue me, okay? Motaro comes back as a cameo. I'm gonna put you in D tier though. Scorpion cameo is in this game. Striker cameo is in this game. Janet Cage, I'll put in D tier because you're kind of in the story. This is normal Sector. I like Sector in this game. I'm going to say you're a B tier though. I like how devoted you are to Noob Saibot, Bihan. I think that's fun. Also played by Erika Ishii. I think they do a great job. Chameleon is going to go in D tier. A cameo, but also has some story shit. I like you a lot. Mavado's going in D tier because you're hot. Shujinko is just in this game. This Kung Lao is just in this game. Kano is just in this game. Cameo Sector is just in this game. Serena, D tier. Frost is just in this game. Farah is just in this game. Cameo Cyrax is just in this game. Darius is, I guess, D tier. No, I don't care enough. You're just in this game. Goro, I feel like you gotta be D tier. Tremor is just in this game. Ghostface DLC. Let's say you are A tier. Not only is Ghostface one of my favorite characters, horror villains of all time, but I love what they did. Not only is this character great in this game, the way that they implemented him is there are 2 characters that are under the Ghostface mantle that are 3D era Red Dragon characters. I forget which one specifically, and that's really awesome. So A tier. T1000 I'll say is D tier. No, I'll put you in C tier because your whole goop thing is really cool and it is really fun to play. Harumi Hasashi is Scorpion's wife, is in this game in the story mode. I'm going to say she is, I'll say C tier, I guess. All right, this is Emperor Rain. You get to play as him in Chaos Reigns DLC. I really like this version of Rain. You are going to be a B tier. You sacrifice yourself to save your wife Tanya. Empress Tanya, who is wife of Emperor Rain, also gets to be in B tier. They are very good versions of the characters. I also thought it'd be funny if I added Sento as a character, Kenshi's sword, because it has dialogue in this game. However, I don't really care. You're D tier. Madame Bo is going to be a B tier. Madame Bo's very fun. She got added as a cameo later on. This is basically the Bo Raicho in this timeline, I believe. Also very fun in the story mode. Now I just have a bunch of shitty shit to do, so I'm just gonna add a bunch of these into the You Are in this game. Chaos Liu Kang, I think. Chaos Cyrax. This is Dark Liu Kang. Chaos Ermac. Chaos Ashra, Chaos Raiden, Chaos Shao Kahn. This is Chaos Sub-Zero, I think. This is Chaos Kung Lao. This is female Ermac from the Armageddon chapter. This is Light Shang Tsung from the Armageddon chapter. This is Chaos Baraka. This is Chaos Li Mei. Chaos Reptile. Chaos Scorpion. Female Pyramid Armageddon chapter Reptile. This is Sento Storm from Armageddon chapter. Fire Cage from Armageddon chapter. This is Dark Kenshi. This is Dark Shao. Dark Li Mei. Dark Gearus, Stung Lao from Armageddon chapter, Quantum Chi Armageddon chapter, Firefly Armageddon chapter, Chaos Quan Chi, Emperor Reiko, Maze Hunter Melina, Dark Rain, Chaos Shang Tsung, Chaos Sindel, Frostbite from the Armageddon chapter, Dark Katana, Chaos Gearus, Dark Scorpion, Mace Hunter Katana. Okay, and then the rest are actual characters that I give any amount of crap about. Lieutenant Colonel Cage, he's a fun version of Johnny Cage. You are going to be a B tier. This is Titan Havoc, main enemy of the fucking DLC or Chaos Reigns. I'm going to say you're a fine villain, you're B tier. Conan, honestly, I'm going to put you in F tier because I don't give any amount of care about you. This is Orin, the dragon from the Chaos Reigns story. I fucking love Orin. You are going in A tier. Also part of the most beautiful segment from that story DLC. Dark Raiden gets to be more than just the other dark versions because you have kind of a significance. I'm going to say you're D tier though. Similarly, we have Dark Sindel. However, Dark Sindel gets to go into C tier because Dark Sindel kills Empress Sindel. This is Chaos Takeda, who is one of Titan Havoc's main lackeys, which is why you're a little bit more. You're D tier. Similarly, Chaos Kenshi gets to be right here. This is Chris. This is Johnny Cage's ex. She is D tier. I don't have anything against her. I think she's right, but also, you know, she's barely in this game. Now we have Titan Raiden. This is the same Raiden from like the end of Mortal Kombat 11, basically. I think he's B tier. Titan Katana is also B tier. Actually, you know what? I'll put Titan Katana in A. And then Titan Kung Lao is the least of all of them. You are C tier. And then we have Floyd, which isn't really a character. He's like a secret character that you can fight in the towers. You're not a character, but I needed to add you because I have a feeling they might add Floyd as a character in future games, and it's just really cool that you got added. But ultimately, because you're not a character, I don't want to rank you that high. I'm going to put you in D tier. And now I have the greatest task of all, which is to rank all of these individually among their own tiers. Yeah, okay. All right, well, that has taken me a lot longer than I thought it would, but I have finally ranked all of the Mortal Kombat characters from the games from the modern era. I hope you enjoy, and I hope you see this list scrolling up through while I'm talking, because there's a lot that is going on with this list. I'm curious to know, what are some of your favorite Mortal Kombat characters? And I would love if you specified from what game also, because that does change things. It really does. Do you like Mortal Kombat? Are you excited for the next movie coming out? Are you excited for whatever game comes out next? I think I'm a freak and a bit of a weirdo for thinking that Mortal Kombat 1 was actually good. Like, obviously it's not good in all regards, but I think generally speaking, I actually like the story of Mortal Kombat 1, and I don't think a lot of people agree with me on that, but that's my opinion. Also, I think a lot of my favorite characters ended up coming from Mortal Kombat 1 because I just think they characterized them really good, and I like what they did with them. Ultimately, I think the scroll should hopefully be about done by now. So this is my final ranking of the Mortal Kombat video game character tier list. Also, just because here's a smash or pass list. I won't be taking any questions at this time. If you could just give me a like and a subscribe, that would be great. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you're having a fantastic day, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.